Hello everybody, and it's another Neocaridina video, and this project I've been putting off for more than a year. This tank has been pretty much sitting up here completely undisturbed other than messing with the moss probably about a year ago maybe. And the problem we have here is, well, we've got multiple problems. See my reflection. We have a giant brown crypt, and I think I've already found it a home to go to. And we've got orange shrimp, and we've got some coals, lots of with our reds. But this will be good. I need some more oranges in the Skittles tank. So we will definitely get that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to rip out all this crypt. Then we're going to rip out all the moss. Then we're going to clean up the duckweed. Then I'm going to do some snail removal, and it looks like there is a lot of snails in here. Then I'll probably clean the filter. And then we'll cull the shrimp. So this is going to be a long project. This tank, like I've said before, these top tanks are death defying, because that's the tank we're dealing with, and we've got tank on the floor, and that's the ceiling. The only way I can get up in here to work is stick my head up here in the attic access hole. So that, telling you, if I had to do it over again, I would not do these tanks this tall. So, but I did, and now I gotta make the best of it. So that's what we're doing. Trying to break this tank down, get the orange shrimp line in better order, because so what's going on here, it's pretty impossible to manage a shrimp colony. So the first thing we want to do, like I said, is the crypt. This should be fun. 3.5, 4 years old, sitting here. I think it was been sitting here since the spring of 18, I do believe, is when I planted this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rip 90% plus out and figure out a way to reorganize this tank. Stay tuned. Let's see what happens. Alright. Let's see how much of this we can get on video. So I apologize if this isn't the best, but I'm trying to get this on video. This should be interesting. Alright, so I'm going to grab it down here at the bottom, see what happens. We're going to take up the whole freaking tank is what we're about to do. Oh, we're ripping it. I'm going to have to climb up higher, I think. Look at this up. Oh my God. That is amazing. Look at this thing. Wild. Alright. So I'm going to put it. Let's see. We're going to put it here. In this big bucket. And then I'm going to fill this big bucket with water. And hopefully should be okay. Okay, so now the next thing we're gonna go after is the moss. Got another bucket here for the moss. Be interesting to see just how many shrimp are in here, because I honestly have no idea, because you can't really see jack in this tank. So get all this. There's gonna be all kinds of shrimp, I'm sure, ending up in this moss. Yep. So what I'm trying to do here is shake the moss off the best I can. And there's all kinds of interesting shrimp in here. The orange shrimp needs some work, that's for sure. So what we're going to do is to make sure we don't contaminate this tank with strange shrimp is I'm going to put in the exact same moss that I took out, except just not as much. Now we got a nice messy tank. Put some water in here. Keep the moss nice and wet. Alright, we got that. Alright, that was a little less painful than I planned on it being, but these shrimp have a lot of work. Lots of reds and wilds. So the goal here is going to be to try to catch as many of these shrimp out as we possibly can eventually. That's a ways off. First thing first is getting rid of all this dang duckweed. First things first. Duckweed time. Okay, duckweed is out mostly, except for a little bit there I missed. I just now seen it as I was climbing up here. So now we gotta let this stuff settle out. While we're waiting on that, I'm gonna bait all the shrimp and the snails in the one area with algae wafers. And then we'll catch the shrimp, hopefully de-snail this tank. This is going to be a long project. I started this about 11 in the morning on this day. And this project may very well end up going to the next day. But we got a lot of work to do on here because this tank's just been sitting here chilling, doing its own thing for years, like 3.5, 4 years. I think it'll be 4 years here in a few months. This tank has been going as is. So, got lots of shrimp to take care of. Probably end up cleaning the filter too. I'm not real sure on that. But, yeah. There's tons of shrimp in here. And I can't even see a quarter of the tank. So, let's get started on that. Alright, we got the algae wafers. We'll put them right there. And we'll wait for all the shrimp to gather. We'll check in here quick. And hopefully the water clears up some. And we'll have a whole bunch of shrimp to get right here. So it's starting to clear out. I knocked over that brick and didn't even know it back there. That's cool. There's still some shrimp scattered all throughout, and it's going to be really hard to get all of them. But this will be an ongoing deal. This is just the first batch. I've got a bucket full of tank water here. And so then we catch all the shrimps. Let's see. We caught a lot of them. Still a lot left. Alright. Now let's put these. This is very hard to do one-handed. And these will be the shrimp we sort through. We'll go through here and pick out the very best orange ones. After we keep letting them gather, catch more, let them gather, catch more. That's the name of the game for a while. Okay, so after looking at this and assessing the situation a little better, we're going to shop back this whole mess out and replace the substrate, because there's millions and billions of snails. And the last thing we do when we take out, when I do these tanks, is there's Mr. Great Big Girl Pleco. It's been living in here her whole life pretty much. It's alright. I'm just gonna splash the camera. It's alright. I'll let you stay there. But in this bucket we have the filters, so they stay cycled, the moss, the crypt, and all the shrimpies. So we're going to go through those all, and then we're going to, first things first is we're going to shop back this mess up. Now I don't know how good this I'm going to be able to get on camera, but I'm going to show you what I do. Pretty easy. Turn the top back on. Water. We're gonna have to suck the water out with the last few inches of water with the shop back. I still see a few shrimp in here we're getting, and then on to the next after that. All right. So there we have it, and now I'm going to do another little trick that I've learned while doing this. Is the heater's unplugged, obviously, and what we want to do is keep any possible stray shrimp that we don't want that may have been missed. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill this up with hot water. Hot water. So what this is going to do, I explained it, it's going to, any critter that may have been left in there alive that I don't want in there, because I got everything out. I want it to be a reset. I started doing this a while back. It's been working real good. So I'm going to let this fill up a little bit with scalding hot water. My water gets pretty hot. So let's let this fill up maybe about a third of the way full of hot water, then we'll start draining that out. Here's some more progress. New substrate is in. Water's filling up. Now, this had like 3 or 4 inches of substrate in some spots. In that back corner where I plan to put the crypt, I probably did about 2 or 3 inches. And the rest of this is just barely covering the glass, and it's not even covering the glass back there. So that's where the filter is going to go. So I'm going to let this fill up to about 3/4 the way. Then it'll be time to figure out how we're going to put stuff in here and set up the filter and stuff. Alright, let's put this little beauty girl back in here. Hopefully she's not hung up in the net. She probably is though. And I put some more snails in there, but let's try to get these god dang things out of here. I just got rid of all these things. Some are alright, but some are fine. We want some. But I just put like 40 in there, and we don't want to do that. Okay, let it keep filling up some. I keep saying Mr. That's an old girl. She's always lived by herself, never had any boyfriends. So I guess the next thing we gotta do is find a piece of crypt that we're going to keep to put in that back corner there. So we got a mess like crazy going on here. I'm gonna pick out this crypt and then we'll check back in. And this is what we got. Look at that filter flowing. This filter is pretty backed up. There's the crypt. There's a little bit of moss I kept, and then we got all big wide open areas to observe shrimp, and these plants will be going crazy before we know it. So another tank. The tank part is done, and now the rest of the video is going to be about sorting all these shrimp. Okay, now it's time to sort some shrimpies. We already got the first batch in the sorting chamber over here. This is my sorting station. Random scoops. I got a flashlight. This is actually on low. I bought this flashlight. This is like a $50 flashlight. I bought this flashlight just to call shrimp. Does that. Does that. And look how bright that is. Holy smokes. That's plenty bright enough to pick out some shrimpies. So I'm going to go through and pick out the best of the best. And the ones that ain't the best of the best will go in the Skittles tank. So, let's see, I'll show you what we got here. Let's see, let's see. Here's a winner right here. Oh, and there's a bad one that got in. Okay. So then we're going to put that guy in here. The keeper box. Alright. Come on, Mr. Shrimp. Anyway, there he goes. There's the first keeper. So what we're going to do is keep going and going until I sort through all these shrimp, and this is going to take a minute, but it'll be fun. It should be pretty fun. Trying to catch the good ones only and not the bad ones. Alright, I'll check back in. This first round's done, then I might be sorting shrimp the rest of the night, I don't know. But I'll check in from time to time, see how it's going with you guys. Alright, so we had the first batch sorted. These are the keepers. Let's see what it looks like with the very first shrimp added in. Oh, my God, reach it. hard to reach without my ladder. Alright. Back in the whole different world. A whole new world. So those are the first batch of keepers. That means we got a batch of not keepers right here. And those will go live in here. In the Skittles tank. Alright. There we go. In the Skittles tank. Alright. So that means only this many more to go. I'll check back in when I'm done. So I won't keep you in here with all these, but lots of sorting to do. Probably be here all night. So this is the last sorting group. I was scraping them all out. That's how these snails ended up in here. And this is the last group. The bucket they all come from is, there might be a few little baby ones in there crawling around somewhere, but I got them. This last group I've noticed as I've gone along, it seems like there's been less and less keepers. So this last batch is a big batch. So there's going to be a lot of really small ones that I don't keep that end up going in the Skittles tank, and that's alright. But I wanted to show you I've gotten better at it. I've figured out how to manipulate them because the shrimp don't like the big scary light. So when they all start getting bunched up, you can use that to your advantage. So in the end here, what we've done is, there's a bad one in there that I don't want to accidentally get. He got out. Is the good one still in there? Yes, it is. I do believe, yep. There's a little bad one that snuck in there. To make sure he was cleared out. So I guess what you could say is we rounded up every single shrimp that we possibly could. And then if there's any left that couldn't be got, I only saw, when I did the hot water thing, I only saw one dead shrimp. So we got them all pretty good, I think. So let's finish this one off here. This one's pretty good. So you round up everyone, every single one. Make sure none accidentally get left behind. And then you're only keeping, I'm only keeping like, you're on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm only keeping like the 8s and up. So might be some 7s that sneak in there somewhere, because you gotta make sure you got enough males. But that's pretty much, yeah, he went out. There's a pretty good one down in there. Don't get in there, bad ones. See, this is what you deal with when you get too many of them in here like this. Look at that red one. That's a beautiful shrimp. These really dark red ones. They're super cool looking. So there's some that are almost like, they look green. It's pretty wild. This one right here is a keeper. Make sure I didn't get any ones I didn't want. Really gently Tap her in there. What I've been doing is I've just been using this net and pouring the water back in the bucket, and everything that's in here ends up in the net, and the net just gets dumped off in the Skittles tank. So this is what ends up going in my Skittles tank when I do great big cullings like this. Yeah, that female's kind of blah. So I've got already picked out a whole bunch of good shrimp. So I'm not super worried about getting every last single one that's borderline. Now, I've just been going and getting the ooze and the ones that wow me. And everything else gets tossed in the Skittles tank. So, let's see what we ended up with. Alright, and so this is what we ended up with. A line that I'd let go because the situation with the tank. And this is what the end result is. Of course, trying to get the crypt situated was a pain in the butt, especially it's in the back corner of the tank, and the tank is already 6 inches from the ceiling. But anyway, look, someone found, remember when I said from the hot water thing, I saw one dead shrimp. He's already being recycled. A big, fat, buried, beautiful mama is devouring him. That is pretty sweet. I have completely and totally disrupted the nature and stability of this aquarium, so I really hated to do that to this crypt. There it is right there. I really hated to do it. But the name of the game is shrimping. And after putting this off for probably, well, it needed to be done well over a year ago. For sure. But this is the end product. And so it ended up something that seemed like it was going to be so horrible. I've been putting it off for over a year and a half probably. And I did it in probably about 6 hours. And that's making the videos and stuff too. So I probably could have done it in 4.5 if I weren't trying to film for you guys, but that's alright. Sharing my hobby with the world. I'll never be a awesome videographer. I can get better, but my main concentration is shrimping. Hopefully I'm putting it in a good enough package for you guys to check out. So thank you guys for watching. Complete and total shrimp tank and shrimp colony reset. 40 gallon. All from late morning to dinner time. And in a horrible place. So let's close her out. Putting the last few of the beautiful chosen ones into their new environment. The last of the chosens. Beautiful, beautiful orange shrimp. One weekend, or not one weekend, one afternoon of working hard and having lots of experience and knowing what I'm doing, I just took a shrimp line that had been let go for way too long into a really pretty awesome orange shrimp line. So we'll see. It'll be, now that the tank is manageable for culling, I'll be able to stay on top of culling much easier now without this giant crypt. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.